Republicans hate picking winners and losers, but in a pinch, they'll pick billionaires to win every single time. This is just another day. Food. It's what many of us eat to stay alive. I'm sure there are exceptions, like that one demon who survives merely by consuming negative energy in the souls of dead puppies, but the rest of us need food. Many even needing food assistance, which, thanks to Trump's shutdown, might be going away.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture does not plan to use a contingency fund for SNAP benefits. So that means at this point, those benefits will not go out come November.
How big is the impact here if SNAP benefits run out?
It could be devastating. In fact, I saw this one quote from the CEO of Hunger Free America. He says, "We would have the greatest hunger catastrophe in this country since the Great Depression."
The greatest hunger catastrophe since the Great Depression. That is insane. And not just because we'll now have to start referring to that chapter of American history as a pretty bad depression. I mean, I hate to be that guy getting all technical here, but you can't really hold on to the title belt if a new champ comes along. But sadly, on November 1st, the wealthiest nation on earth will tell 42 million Americans that their food assistance has run out. And to all those millions about to suffer the incredible hardship, Speaker Mike Johnson wants you to know it could be worse.
One of the reasons that this shutdown has not yet been as painful as it might otherwise have been is because the president is bent over backwards, the administration.
Yeah, someone is definitely being bent over here, but it's not the president. It is the 1 in 8 Americans who are getting screwed by Donald Trump's agenda. 1 in 8. Those numbers are not okay. Even Matt Gaetz agrees. Granted, he just has an aversion to any number that looks like 18. But rather than actually doing something to provide relief to the people who need it most, Republicans would prefer to spend their time pointing out how previous administrations made people suffer too. Sort of.
Think of it this way. The White House, the executive branch in a shutdown, has a large control panel full of dials. Under the Obama administration, they turned those dials, the pain dials, to 10 immediately. You remember it was so egregious to us. Speaking of our veterans, I mean, they put yellow crime tape around the World War II memorial so that people who'd served their country could not go visit the memorial. They wanted it to hurt.
Hey, I understand that not being able to visit a war memorial during a shutdown is incredibly unfortunate, but I don't think it's on the same scale of hardship as not being able to eat. You know, I'm not sure audiences would have felt nearly as much sympathy for Tom Hanks' character in Castaway if he'd written, "Help open the memorial." But Mike Johnson is working around the clock to, well, not alleviate the pain or find any sort of solution, but he is working a lot.
And here in Washington, the work has gone on in earnest as well. People keep commenting to me, "You look so tired on TV." I am so tired because we're not sleeping a lot. We're working overtime.
Yes, people keep telling me I look like I have bad hygiene, that I look like I brush my teeth with a pen cap, use the cafeteria's ranch dressing for deodorant, and wipe my ass with congressional stationery. Well, I am doing those things because we're working so much, and so is the president.
President Trump has proven that. Every day of this shutdown, he has tried to move funds around to find unobligated funds to cover the bases, to get the troops paid in the middle of October.
Well, he did have that one cheat day where he found 40 billion taxpayer dollars for Argentina, but besides that, every day. You know, I must admit that I'm a tad confused. Since Donald Trump began his second term and Republicans took over all 3 branches of government, the wealthy in this country have done exceptionally well, while the middle and low-income Americans are just struggling to get by. And what confuses me is that for as long as I can remember, Republicans have felt a very specific way about the role of government.
I believe that the role of government is not to pick winners and losers.
We don't need more bureaucrats in Washington picking winners and losers.
But I don't believe that Washington should be picking winners and losers.
That's right, Ted Cruz. The government should not be picking winners and losers. That's apparently a job for genetics. But for all the talk about how the government should not be in the business of picking winners and losers, that is specifically what Donald Trump and the Republican Party have decided government's sole purpose is. Their entire agenda is based on picking the wealthiest class as winners. One of their choice provisions in their big beautiful bill was giving tax cuts to the rich, and it turns out that will decrease federal tax revenue by $4.5 trillion over the next 10 years. Or, to put that another way, Republicans will take away so much money from the government that the SNAP program could have been funded almost 5 times over. Why do people who are already winning by the billions need to win more? In what world do guys like Larry Ellison and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk need a handout? We live in a country where this one man is so damn rich, he has time to sit in a meditative K-hole and game out how to colonize Mars. Yet this woman has to struggle to simply get home.
You okay?
No, I'm trying to get home from here and there's no bus.
There's no bus?
Nope, I live at Mill 160 at 4130 South Mill Avenue. I have to walk all the way home from here. And there's no bus because the government shut down.
That is a blind woman in Arizona who normally takes the bus home, but thanks to Trump's shutdown, this bus isn't running. And if it weren't for a concerned citizen literally putting their hand out, she would have been left alone to fend for herself. When Donald Trump was campaigning, his entire agenda was rooted in this idea of making America great again. And he wasn't shy at all about who he wanted to make America great again for.
Starting on day one, we will defeat inflation quickly and we will make America affordable again. I will cut your energy costs in half.
It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break.
Finally catch a break? Look, either millions of working class men and women are wearing the wrong glove, or President Trump has veered from campaign Trump and isn't doing a single thing to make those breaks remotely catchable. Not only has the cost of groceries, housing, and energy risen, probably why Larry Ellison decided to offload his $145 million house a few years ago. He knew once Trump took office, the cost of keeping it cool would just be too much to bear. But President Trump has made a daily ritual out of showing just how little he cares about real hardship being endured by those working men and women. As their food assistance disappears, he has no problem bragging about the hundreds of millions he found to demolish the East Wing and transform it into a chandelier orgy. As 17 million Americans find themselves kicked off of Medicaid and millions more worried about how they're going to afford health care now that their premiums are about to skyrocket, Trump has no problem housing crypto dinners where the average price was $1 million per seat. And as Trump's administration cuts billions in special education funding for students with disabilities, he has absolutely no problem touting how much golder his office is than yours. Do not fall for this ruse that Trump and Republicans care about working men and women or have any interest in the government helping them catch a break. The only thing that they care about is the acquisition of more power and more wealth. And I guess one guy who cares about getting his beauty rest.
I am so tired because we're not sleeping a lot.
Go to bed, Mike. You deserve it. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.